Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. I'm just going to go straight into this one. I didn't research this one. I just grabbed this one out of my cabinet, threw it on, started listening to it. This is Silent Voices Reveal the Change. You can already hear I'm not overly impressed. All right. There's nothing new or anything unique to this album. There's an instrumental in it, which I'm going to get into, which I think is pretty decent. Kind of gets lost in this collection of songs, and by the end, this album's pretty diminished. The album starts with Fear of Emptiness. It kind of has actually what I thought was a really cool intro. The sound was very late 80s, early 90s, hard rock, heavy metal. And by the minute 39 marker, it basically slips into full on metal power kind of song. Leaning a little bit on the heavy riff rock instead of the thinner metal sound. So, I want to say kind of it's that really early like albums from like 90 through like maybe 92. You know, he had some really good ones in there. Like Danzig had an album or two in there that was really kind of like riff heavy, you know, that kind of stuff. Where it had that nice thick riff rock. Even though it was classified as metal, it was really more of a heavy riff rock, like a really dark, heavy riff. Zeppelin-like, right? The keyboards to me are way forward on this song. Maybe they're not even needed at all and should be replaced with a second guitar. The song is 9 minutes, way too long, really doesn't do much for being how long it is, as it is. Then we go into No Turning Back. You really feel the inspiration on this album by the time you hit this track. It's definitely in part post grunge metal, that kind of 1996 sound. So when I say post grunge, I don't mean actual post grunge, because that's how a lot of people rank. You know, a lot of those bands that were like they started out in the late 90s, early 2000s, like Nickelback and Stained and shit like that. This isn't like that. This is kind of like when Kiss did Carnival of Souls, Metallica doing Load and Reload, that kind of post grunge metal. Um, there's also a little DOS keyboard heavy, like it. This album is pretty keyboard heavy in the way that Dio at times could be really keyboard heavy. So if you're into keyboards, great. If you're not into keyboard heavy metal, uh, um, this song in particular reminds me kind of something mid-range track filler kind of a, you know. There were some good ideas on the song that need to be flushed out better. Yeah, well. Reign of Terror. This one sounds more violent and aggressive than the last two. Like some Corn or Limp Bizkit, just in the pit and destroy some shit, kind of angry, you know. Uh, um, so we moved a few years along into the post grunge era, but we're still basically in the post grunge era. And since I haven't mentioned it yet, I should mention this album. My computer had it listed as copyright 2019. That must be for this particular release. Whereas the album here, it actually says 2013. So, we're quite a way away from that era. Uh, and I should mention that I'm just talking musically. The vocals are way too skilled to be compared to Fred Durst or Jonathan Davis, just to be clear. The vocals are definitely more, proper power metal vocals. Then we're on to Faith in Me. By this point in the album, I've honestly completely tuned out, basically. The album becomes background noise. There really isn't anything new, exciting. I've already mentioned this. And the whole album, really, at this point, just kind of feels like filler to me. Like, it's like a bunch of guys got together, threw some songs together because they wanted to write an album together. This is the album they released. And if you're into power metal, you may enjoy it, but it's really kind of just blasé. Like Tracy, the one who brings all the power metal and stuff like that, or the symphonic metal or the European metal or whatever into the house, even she was kind of just like, by this point in the album. Then we're getting into Blackwater, which was the instrumental I was talking about at the very beginning of the video. This one's an instrumental, as I've mentioned a couple times now. Sorry, guys. First song to really have me sit up and pay attention. It has this great kind of jam vibe in it. It gets a little rushy around the 4.5-minute marker before going into this full-on power metal to finish it out, and then it circles back around to the opening riff. The whole way around, this is actually one of the better songs on this album, and I don't want to say that, taking the vocals off all the other songs would have made them better. Maybe I would like to hear them instrumentally to see if I like them better, but none of the other songs musically or instrumentally really appealed to me the way that this one did. This one just was a really, really good tune. I really got into this one. Problem is, as I mentioned, it kind of gets lost by the end of the album because of how much the rest of the album is. Then we're in Burning Shine. It's got a nice bass riff to open it up, kind of bit Tool-like. You hear we're kind of moving around in times. Then we're into Through My Prison Walls, which finishes off the album in a grandiose case of gratuitousness. Song clocks in just under 12 minutes, and while it has a cool guitar solo section, and even a cool keyboard solo section, the song really doesn't go anywhere. It's definitely musician masturbation. Skilled musician masturbation, but it's musician masturbation. It's not that anything on this album sounds bad or unskilled or anything like that. It's just all kind of basic. There's nothing here that really kind of makes me woo, or makes me or makes me whoa. Blackwater does. Blackwater, like I said, that's the only song on the album where I actually sat up and went, whoa, okay. But, and even then, I mean, it's a good instrumental track, but, I've definitely heard better from other ones. But the part that's cool about it is, like I said, it's got this great jam vibe. It has even this, kind of Rush-like kind of vibe to it going on. And then it kicks over into the power metal and then finishes out. And, it works, though. It's a great kind of well thought out kind of prog song. Anyways, folks, as you can tell, this is not an album I'm going to recommend. Like I said, Tracy, who's into power metal, really even just didn't get into it so much. So it's hard for me to say, hey, go out and get this album. I can't do it. Really sorry. Yeah. Let me know what you think, though. Maybe you have a different take on it. That's what the comment section is for. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell for notifications. There's a link that'll take you to Patreon below. Peace. Love. Take care.